Hi all. Earlier we were dealing with organizational design where a nasty bird came up there and it's making a lot of noise, so I sort of stopped the video. But anyway, yeah, we'll carry forward from where we have left earlier. We're talking about a product and market organization. I mean, how organizational design takes place. So I will broadly try to summarize the different types of organizational designs. We have a product organization where the stress will be upon the product. For example, Apple iPhone is a product. So the stress is upon the how the whole organization is modeled to manufacture an iPhone, means the whole procurement, supply chain, and how the actual manufacturing takes place, how marketing takes place. I mean, how you divide, how you look at your potential markets, and you try to strategize your design. Then comes the market organization, wherein you have Apple has a, not only Apple, you can say Oracle has a Oracle India division, Oracle has a Europe division, Oracle has a US division, Oracle has a US unit, and how things depending on the market, depending on the say TCS has emerging markets branch, then TCS has Asia Pacific, then TCS Europe, TCS US. So whole idea is how you design your organization. And finally, this idea of matrix organization, wherein this is gaining a lot of weight nowadays. Matrix organization, as in you will have two levels, where you can say you have two. I mean, every person will have two bosses, in the sense one functional boss and one the vertical boss, in the sense. Say you are from the testing team. I mean, I'm taking an example of IT industry. You're from the testing team. You're actually reporting the whole your QA, what you can say, your QA vertical, your QA horizontal, you can say. But you will be working in a specific project. So matrix organization actually lays stress upon the pro. I mean, it's very useful while dealing with complex tasks where you require people of all expertises. So what you do effectively is, you can think about a matrix, right? Two-dimensional thing, wherein you address to, I mean, you are at every point of joining of a vertical with a horizontal, and you will be reporting to two different bosses, one your functional boss and one actual your team boss, the development, the actual team boss. And since the organizations are being complex nowadays, so this theory has evolved. And we spoke a lot about organization design, how different organizations are organized, designed, and what is the pros and cons of each organization. And it's a pretty impressive learning. I mean, we actually got an overview of how I mean, all this time we had been in a brick in the wall, but we are now getting a top view. I mean, a top view of how the actual wall is. I mean, how the wall is organized, how bricks are laid into the wall, and it's a pretty good learning. Coming to the final topic, which I am luring you all the time, saying that I will come to the human concept. Basically, how people, the human concept of management deals with what are the different theories of managers. Namely, there are two different theories of managers in management thought: the theory X and theory Y. Wherein the theory X managers think that the employees are, inherently lazy and they need to be coerced or forced to do their work, and they should be threatened sometimes, and there should be some motive for their work. And theory Y basically think that employees are inherently, they are very creative and they approach work as if it's play. They're interested in their work. They try to achieve maximum satisfaction and perfection in their work. But the only thing that is there is they should be enough motivated. Means there should be some motivation factor that drives the employees to excel in their respective jobs or tasks. So since we have picked up the word motivation, the other concepts of the human approach of management are namely the motivation, the leadership, and the teams and team work. I mean, how teams work. Motivation. What is motivation basically? Motivation is basically, it's a driving force that makes you change your decisions or align your decisions to achieve something. The motivation basically an incentive, or it can be a respect for somebody, or it can be a self-driven enthusiasm to achieve something or do something, or basically motivation. I mean, that's called self-motivation. And motivation is basically some sort of driving factor that makes you go towards something, towards a target or a goal. And then comes the next aspect of the source for motivation is called, it's basically leadership. Means how leaders motivate their people, how they make people do things, how they will change the decisions of people, how they change the outlook of the people, how they create a order out of randomness and out of unorganization. And leaders, how they inspire people, and what are the distinct qualities of leadership, and how leaders can actually motivate their people. Means we were shown some slides explaining leadership and motivation using Newton's three laws of motion. For example, the first law, where a person or object will remain in the same state until until there is some driving force to move it or change its state of motion. Or yeah, I think you got it. The whole idea is a person. To relate it to the human concept, a person will remain in this at the same level or the same capability of work unless he is motivated to perform more or do more. Then the second law is the force is given by mass into acceleration, Newton's second law. Relating it to the human concept, the level or the extent in which the employee breaks his limits and achieves more depends on the incentive, right? Incentives and how much force you apply, or not force, a positive force, what I'm trying to say. And the third law is the Newton's law of gravitation, and it's a very important and interesting concept wherein the leader, how he attracts. Okay. No, Newton's law of not gravitation. Gravitation is also said upon, but the third law is not gravitation. Apologies for that. But the third law says that every action has equal and opposite reaction. It's again relevant in while dealing with humans, dealing with employees in teams, wherein every action of the leader is viewed upon by all the employees, and of course every action of the leader will have a opposite reaction. Not exact opposite, means an equivalent reaction from the employees, wherein employees will have their own impressions on the leader. So it's mandatory on the part of leaders to actually strategize their decisions, their actions, so as to motivate the employees, achieve their objectives, and streamline people towards the common organization goals, and as well as the whole team goals, right? And finally, teams. How people work with teams, and how people work in teams, how interactions go on, how productivity is affected by different teams, by nature of teams, and all this. At this point of time, our management whole course is coming to an end, and we were shown a very interesting video about the three monks. You might have seen it somewhere. If not seen, just Google three monks in Google, of course, and you can find the three monks video in YouTube, and you can just watch it. The whole idea is in three monks is there initially one monk in a monastery who will be performing his task, with the main task being fetching water, going downhill fetching water and coming uphill with the filled buckets, and then using the water for drinking purpose, of course. Initially there will be one monk who is happy, good enough, and another important character is a rat inside the monastery, which is like it's sort of when the rat is initially there and one monk is there,